Righty. So we're going to go ahead and get started here in a moment. Going to go ahead and update the bands. Let's see. Our first bands were Sky Temple map ban from Stranger Pings and from Disturbance, Powers of Doom. And good evening, everybody. Welcome to the cast. For those of you coming over from the NGS Mead Hall, I'd like to welcome you to my first ever initial and solo cast. I'm looking forward to spending my time with you this evening in this Division D West matchup between Disturbance and Stranger Pings. And the map pick is going to be Infernal Shrines. And that pick was by, I believe it was, yeah, it was Stranger Pings. All right, we've got most of the teams in here. Let's see, move Mambo. Team. Lobby mode. Give me just a moment here, folks. I am working on getting everything set up. Wraithling is set up as captains. We got our captains set. Robert's to the left. I should have done this before I flipped over. So this matchup is actually going to be an important one here for Disturbance, especially. They're sitting currently at 3 points for Division D West here, and we've got Stranger Pings at number 7 there with 8 points. So they'll keep in their spot, but Disturbance looking to take over that 8th seed with Nexus Turds. Looks like they're all in the right place here. And I've got Kimbo ready. Let's get this show on the road. If you guys do notice anything, if sounds are off a little bit, if there's something awkward about the placement of something in the images, please let me know. I'll try to make adjustments, and we'll see how it goes. Oh, I need to update my title. West. Disturbance versus Stranger Pings. Welcome to the Thunderdome. All of my favorite casters in chat. Well, at least some of them, for sure. And we're going to get this started here with Disturbance and Stranger Pings. Right now, well, once this loads anyways. So Stranger Pings has some heroes that they're pretty big fans of with the Rhaegar and Raynor. They've each got 7 games played, their next closest being Gul'dan. And they really enjoy banning out Kael'thas 12 times, as well as Hanzo and Arthas on a much lower degree. Disturbance, and there's that Kael'thas. Oh, you're not even in the draft. Let me fix that. Oh, jeez. There we go. Now you see it. So Anubarak being banned. We've got Stranger Pings banning the Kael'thas. Disturbance then coming up with the Azmodan. This looks pretty much just like my standard Storm League that I get to watch drafts on. It's much fun watching these same heroes being banned out every single game. Other than the Kael'thas, everything else was pretty similar. So Mal'Ganis, a little bit surprised by that just personally. Don't see a lot of bans against Mal'Ganis, but maybe there's somebody on the team that just is not excited about playing Mal'Ganis or against Mal'Ganis. So Disturbance is going to go ahead and pick up Raynor. Let's see here. So Disturbance certainly has played Raynor. They've played him twice, not a whole lot. That gives them a good place to start. Raynor not the greatest wave clear, but he's just a good solid basic hero. And then on the side of Stranger Pings, we've got Gul'dan and Cassia. So Gul'dan, very strong with the wave clear, going to clear the shrines very easily. Cassia probably looking to directly slow down Raynor's lifestyle at this point. Disturbance then with Diablo. A lot of walls to bash into here. Stop that Cassia from doing any fens. And Belial with Thrall. Hopefully we don't see a Crashed Lightning. Crashed Lightning is not exactly super effective here. Fight to the death for playoffs. Holy smokes. That seems like it might be a little aggressive, Weenus. But welcome, everybody. It's good to see some familiar faces in the chat. And thank you, Murda, again for calling out the stream title. Ana being banned here and followed up by the Johanna. Johanna is really strong in this map, pulling together those skeletal defenders and making it nice and easy for the Gul'dan or Cassie to get their AoE damage pierced through. So no real surprise there. And also the additional effect of building into Cassia's blind bonus and making Raynor's day a little bit more quiet. So Brightwing and Imperius, so they're going to need a tank still, presumably. Maybe solo tank Imperius or main tank Imperius could be an interesting balance. Imperius with the percent damage at level 1 can really do a lot of damage to Diablo and get some interesting interactions between a Shadow Charge and a Celestial Charge, I believe is the name of that ability, or Angelic Charge, something like that. And Disturbance is going to round out with Stukov and Sonya. So you've got some pretty decent CC with the Diablo, followed by a root from Thrall. You've got the root with potential with Stukov at 13. Obviously, all of those silences. Do we see a leap? Could happen with a lot of that backline. Sonya could get in there and just give Gul'dan a really tough time, but Brightwing's going to make that a challenge as well with the polymorph. And then Stranger Pings finishing up with Garrosh. So overall, I really like a Garrosh, just personally, but I feel like I enjoy Disturbance's draft a little bit more. I like their CC. The CC on the side of Stranger Pings is going to be a little bit more coordinated. That Horrify is going to cause him a little problems, but we'll see how it goes. Let's see. All right. So on the red side, we've got Stranger Pings, Akimbo on the Garrosh, Cadet Legend on the Imperius, Wesley, shut up Wesley, with the Cassia, Moosebrow on the Brightwing, and Ghost 4444 on Gul'dan. On the blue side, we have Disturbance. We have Captain Roberts on the Raynor, Belial on Thrall, Kurtz playing Diablo, Mambo on Stukov, and Wraithling on the Sonya. Alrighty, so we're starting out of the gate with a 5v4 in the lane, the mid lane. Sonya went up to get that soak started as soon as possible. Diablo being only about 2/3 of a hero at this point, probably in their favor. But Garrosh is going to flip Thrall, and they're just going to destroy him immediately out of the gate. 25 seconds in, and we've got first blood going over in favor of Stranger Pings. And that's going to be a tough one. If you're going to face check those bushes, you're going to expect to be thrown every time. He's always going to be looking for that. Stranger Ping's going to go ahead and start their rotation, and Imperius is going to head up to deal with Sonya. Sonya already at half health. Going to have to step back a little bit there. Garrosh anchoring for his team here, and it's going to be interesting. Do we see? They're pretty safe about that, so he's not gonna give away his position yet. But the wave clear is definitely in favor of Stranger Pings at this point, with that Gul'dan just showing up, throwing out a couple of Qs, and moving on about his day. Garrosh is enjoying the quiet life. We'll see if one of the members of Disturbance gets just a little too close to that bush, what kind of pain they could be in. They might try to... Yeah, there it goes. He's going to grab Thrall, flip him into the backline again. We got the silence coming out, so that's slowing things down, but Thrall is still going to go down. That's 2 deaths for Thrall and 2 kills on behalf of Stranger Pings. Kind of surprised that they're not going to go ahead and grab this either of these camps with that advantage, especially with the fast rotations they've been able to have. I would have thought that they would have grabbed the safe camp or possibly their own camp. Sonya looks like she's going to head down over here and get her bruisers started. And here comes Thrall getting a root on Cassia. No real follow-up or value, so just looking for stats. In fact, why don't I show you the talents? So Diablo sitting at 40 souls, and the unfortunate Crash Lightning from Thrall. Gul'dan's going to go ahead and get this camp started, and Disturbance is going to capture this bottom camp, it looks like. Good on them. Diablo charge in, grabs the Garrosh. He's going to use Unstoppable. He's going to go down. Good catch on the side of Disturbance to get that Garrosh and finish that. So we've got Sonya's camp sent out now. They're going to go ahead and get started on the shrine. We got 5 members of Disturbance here getting that started. And Stranger Pings is going to go ahead and poke in on this. But not too much. They got to clear this top lane before they get any significant damage against their own structures. Already beyond half for Disturbance. They're at almost now 30. They're just clearing these so quickly. Cassia working to get those Q stacks. She's currently at 3. And it looks like Stranger Pings is going to just go ahead and give that up. They don't want to jump in there with at 30 plus. Now, surprisingly, the entire team here is coming down to clear this camp and just let the members of Disturbance go straight into damaging this wall and these towers. Brightwing's going to come in. There's a 3-man silence and catches Brightwing in a root. Brightwing's going to get stunned by Diablo. They're going to have to watch out for that. They got a stun on 2 members. There's a root on the Cassia, who is just getting pummeled by the Punisher. And there she goes. That Crash Lightning making its way to the... that wasn't Cassia, that was Imperius. Who am I talking about? Somebody with fancy helmet. All right, so Disturbance coming over to grab their camp. It looks like Sonya could be in a little bit of trouble here. Wesley's starting the push, but I don't know that the rest of the team's going to be able to get there. Garrosh is going to throw her back. She's already used Whirlwind, so she's going to go down. In the meantime, we got 3 members staying mid here to finish off this mid fort. Raynor's going to come up and try to fake out the 4-man push up top, which is also where the next altar or shrine phase is going to be. Diablo's going to head up, see if he can help with this, but it looks like Stranger Pings is already backing away. They want to get their camp out. Might be a little bit early. Maybe they'll hold on to it for a little bit. Look at this. This thing's got 66 health. And I just did the thing I shouldn't have done. I knew I shouldn't have done that. Okay, well, we'll figure this out in a bit. Nothing happening here. They don't want to fight just yet. We've got about a half a level lead in favor of Stranger Pings. They're going to clear up the top lane, and Disturbance wants to get this fort finished. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. Got me off of the the health of the fort. Stranger Pings looking at their camp here. Wes is going to get that started on the Cassia. No surprise here with the Cleave build and Valorous Brand from Imperius looking to take damage off the Diablo. Sonya's going to get caught out. She's going to Whirlwind, get stunned, and killed by the Garrosh toss. Brightwing's going to come in a little bit late for getting things done there, but now they may actually look to push in with this this wave a bit that's coming in. Or not. Love a fancy helmets, Lexi. I love it. All right, so the top shrine is coming up. There's only one camp on the map at this point, and that is on the side of Disturbance. For ultimates, we've got the Warlord's Challenge for Garrosh, the Emerald Wind, Angelic Armaments, Horrify, and of course the Lightning Ball on behalf of Cassia. All those are available. And then the Wrath for Sonya, Earthquake, APOC, and Flailing Swipe. Wraithling going in, he has no idea that they're watching him. Garrosh Diablo getting flipped in, APOC going out, and here comes the wind, just all kinds of displacement and stuns happening here. Garrosh is really low, but they're going to get Wraithling. This whole team is low. Brightwing's going to teleport in. They're trying to get the Imperius, but they miss it. The Flailing Swipe gets interrupted, and it looks like Stukov's going to go down as well. So that is a 4 and soon to be 5 deaths on behalf of Disturbance, and only the Brightwing for Stranger Pings. Diablo, having his souls, does get to come back quickly, but that's going to reduce his effectiveness pretty quickly. We also have the Rainer's Raider. I believe that I missed that one. So the first Punisher went over to Disturbance. The second one looks like it's going to go in favor of Stranger Pings. They are a little bit low on health here, but they do have a Brightwing coming in, and Brightwing just heals up. Doesn't cost her anything to do it. Just takes a while for her to show up to the party. This first fort is going to end up going down easily. They're not even going to bother. They're going to try to get this camp help with some pressure, maybe get a little bit of damage out of it. There goes that fort. So they're going to stall that Punisher for just a minute. And we've got 4 members of Disturbance here to deal with this push. Captain Roberts on Raynor gets jumped on, stunned, and obliterated by the team. That was a little bit forward. The roots, I believe, coming from Thrall. There's the flip from Diablo, but he's just going to get thrown into the team. Flailing Swipe pushes them all back and is probably going to save Diablo. The Haunt didn't have any significant follow-up, but it got him spread out. So it's 3 versus 5 in this. Sonya looking to get her camp over there in the safe area. Belial going to get caught out and thrown. The power of Garrosh compels you. Holy smokes. He just shows up to the party and throws you into it. This top keep is going down. The Punisher's almost dead. Captain Roberts should be able to finish that. He does. And but just before the keep goes down in favor of Stranger Pings. And they are 13 at this point. They're picking up their new talent, their talent tier, with some double up and reduced cooldown on the Molten Armor, and Spell Armor on the Fell Flame, and slows coming out of Cassia. Imperius is looking to get this camp. That's going to provide some pressure in the top lane. Disturbance getting their 13s with the extra Shadow Charge, the Whirlwind, Frostwolf's Grace, and I believe that's the the increased size. All 5 members of Disturbance down in this bot lane, posturing with their camp, versus 4 now for Stranger Pings. They're just gonna show up and just get a little bit of face time. That's all they really wanted out of that. Rainer's gonna go back up and clear up this top lane, is what it looks like. And Stranger Ping's in the bot lane. They're going to have this wave. They're going to push in this wall. Diablo's sharking around behind it. I don't know if he might have learned his lesson after that top keep where he flipped over Garrosh and then realized that's not who you want to flip. That mid camp getting completed by Sonya, so less pressure there. But we do have a full wave plus the Shaman camp here. Wraithling will go ahead and take care of that. The Brightwing Z, I wonder if that was a mistake. Because that just fully revealed their position. And I'm surprised they're all standing right in this same bush. Because that was very clearly seen. Here comes Diablo. He doesn't have any clue. Either that or he just doesn't care. They're looking at Cassia. Cassia's baiting this whole team. Coming right into the team. We got Diablo with the APOC and flip. Lightning Ball's going out, but Cassia's so low. She's not going to die before Diablo, though. She's going to take care of that. Garrosh with the Indomitable. Earthquake going out. The Flailing Swipe pushing all the members of Stranger Pings back. And the Angelic Armaments looking for that Stukov, but not going to be able to hit him with all of the other members of Disturbance. However, Thrall is going to get caught by that charge. And Stranger Pings is going to look to get this ball rolling on this third Punisher of the game. They are fairly low. There's the Z again from Brightwing, and Imperius will make it out with his Hearth just in time. It's actually going to be Disturbance that starts the Skeletal Defenders and puts them in a little bit of a risky spot here. Raynor boops back the Garrosh to keep from perhaps getting taunted and killed by the Gul'dan. That top lane is still putting pressure into Disturbance. We've got to throw into the team for Sonya. And Sonya's kind of stuck here, getting caught by the Garrosh with the taunt, as well as Diablo, and they're both going to go down. However, Gul'dan in the backline will get finally killed by the Skeletal Defenders. And it looks like Stukov is going to make it out just because of the safety of this fort. Belial taking all of the Angelic Armaments. And that'll be the third Punisher, and this is an Arcane Punisher going over to Stranger Pings. Looks like Thrall is gonna get caught? Question mark? Nope. Got that minion though. That minion's dead. See, you just had to wait for John Cena to show up. He'll get you that stun. Holy smokes. So we've got Gul'dan coming in. We've got Thrall out for 30 seconds. So this is a 4v4 with John Cena. Looks like this time they will work to try to get that to jump over. It is going to go into Raynor again. Sonya's going to get tossed behind again. She queued into that team, and I'm not sure that was intentional. It seems questionable. Stukov getting smashed by the Punisher, and it doesn't look like the team can follow up on it. He was pretty far back, but they are going to get this second keep of the game. So that's now 2 lanes pushing in for Stranger Pings. That's a huge advantage for them. If you're Disturbanced, being down 18 to 17 here, at least you got to hope that this next shrine is coming in the mid lane, where you at least have some structure to slow things down. But you got to get this full 1.5 level XP deficit caught up. You got to try to find a way to get that 20 before this next Punisher. You're going to be in real trouble. Mid Khazra camp, the other mid Khazra camp coming out from the Stranger Pings. We've got Imperius getting the bot lane, so that's going to put some pressure up here. Diablo charging the Garrosh, getting taunted, thrown. Here comes the APOC. It's only going to hit 2 members. The Lightning Ball is going to go out and finish off the Diablo. The Fear is going to push them all off, but it's not going to do a whole lot. Just keep them from dealing with that Earthquake. Brightwing's going to get the Z on Garrosh, get him some health and a shield, as the Khazra do some minimal damage here to Belial and that catapult. And it looks like they're posting up. Raynor's going to get tossed again with the Celestial Charge. Diablo's going to go deep in. He's surrounded by the enemy team, but the silence is actually going to save him. And this is going to be an easy camp then for Stranger Pings with their level 20 advantage. Sonya continuing to try to soak as much as she possibly can in this game. And unfortunately for Disturbance, it did not go to the mid lane. It went top. So this is going to be a very important Punisher. And if they don't win it, it likely could be game. Almost done. They cleared out the dogs that this shaman camp loves to summon here. Now they've got another one coming their way. The wall goes down here for Stukov. They're leading the charge is Gul'dan. He realized maybe that's not the best option. A lot of bush standing for Stranger Pings. They like these bushes, and that's going to help them. We've got basically a 5v4 right now. Two-man taunt into the backline. Here comes the APOC to stun 4 members of Stranger Pings, but it doesn't matter. They're still going to kill both Thrall and Raynor. The Flailing Swipe knocks the members back of Stranger Pings and keeps them from coming in and getting Stukov or Diablo. And here comes Wraithling to try to clean up now the top lane. But this is going to give them a heavy advantage in the clear of the 4th Punisher, which is a Molten Punisher, and probably enough to have the Punisher completed before even those 2 members have returned to the map. Yes, they have been, Mongoose. A lot of these fights with that Brightwing trickle healing, the Stranger Pings group has been very low on health, half or less in many cases. But you've got pretty significant damage in the force of Gul'dan and Cassia, and that Garrosh throw and Celestial Charge from Imperius is just locking him down and preventing him from doing anything. So it is going to be 5 members of Disturbance up. They are very close to 20 here. They might be able to get this just from trickle XP in the next few seconds. Thrall going to get stunned off to the side near the fort. He wants to pull it over there, get the whatever defenses they can. The Sonya gets taunted and destroyed, followed by the Stukov. And now Thrall's going to get thrown. Hellgate in from Diablo, and Raynor's going to make it out to the Nexus there. And this is going to be a nice, smooth, comfortable core rush finishing for Stranger Pings. Alrighty. Let's go to the stats page. So Raynor doing 37k, but Gul'dan with the 55k and the Siege 131, just destroying those skeletal defenders for sure. And of course, Sonya with her pretty much AFK lane game for the second half of it, trying to get Disturbance back into it, but unfortunately just couldn't keep up with those kills. 5 to 26 kills. Quick look at the talents here. These level 20s for Disturbance came out just at the last moment. Alrighty, we will be back in just a moment while we figure out where the next map is going to be. All right, so I put up the map picks here, and so the picks and bands here, we started off with the Towers of Doom band by Disturbance, Sky Temple band by Stranger Pings, and that first pick and win went over to Stranger Pings on the Infernal Shrines, and Disturbance opted for first selection again. So the map in this case was selected by Stranger Pings, and we're going to go ahead and go to Tomb of the Spider Queen. Looks like we've got both teams already. So we're going to go ahead and get this second draft underway. So Tomb of the Spider Queen. So we'll see if we make any changes to those bands. Are we going to see another Mal'Ganis ban? I don't know. The Johanna band. Johanna's pretty solid for this map. She ends up getting lots of gems as the rotations are going through. Are we going to see that Rhaegar, as mentioned earlier, that was so heavily picked? A little bit of damage on those camps helped to take those. But I believe I don't remember whose match I was watching the other day. Who said I think Jason brought it up. Tomb of the Spider Queen, where the it's all about the lanes and the camps don't matter, or something along those lines. They do seem to be fairly infrequent. So far this ban going exactly the same direction. We got a Nubarak followed by the Kael'thas. No surprises. Garrosh, not a surprise after that last game. The Garrosh definitely had an impact, and from the first 20 seconds of the game right up until the end, I feel like that's a pretty good ban for them here, especially with the bushes that this map has available. A lot of places where Garrosh can just step out and you find yourself dead, and then followed by an Asmo ban. So, Disturbance, what you got? What are you going to come up with to win this game, to get those points, and try to push forward into the next slot in the playoffs? Gul'dan. So, Gul'dan with the fast wave clear. We saw he was very effective for Stranger Ping's last game, and Kurtz thinks that he can show them how to do it better. Also, I'm a little bit late in this, but welcome everybody that came over from the Nexus Gaming Series. I just noticed the activity feed. Awesome. Thank you very much for that. Jaina and Imperius. So they decided to take another heavy wave clear mage, Jaina being a very solid one, and Imperius, again, they did very well with the CC chains on that last game between the Garrosh and Imperius. The slows of Jaina will help with that. Diablo, they're not perturbed at all about running that Diablo. They don't care. They got rid of the Garrosh. They feel he was the big problem. And we've got the Ana as well. And Ana, if she can stay back away from that Jaina and just shoot at her team in friendly fire way, she'll do her absolute best to keep that Diablo up. And I'll be interested to see what Diablo takes for his level 1 talent. This is a fairly close map. There are going to be a lot of globes that he can pick up, so a Devil's Due could be possible, but when you got that Jaina burst, it's that the Soul Shield is really important. And here we're banning Raynor and Artanis. A little bit surprised about the Artanis, unless they're concerned about maybe him diving in and swapping. But usually that just ends up getting a dead Artanis. So I'm interested to see what they're taking. They feel that Artanis is such a big threat to them. And there's the Rhaegar that was brought up earlier. I don't remember which team was it. Stranger Pings? Yes, it was. Stranger Pings was with the 7 games of Rhaegar and 7 games of Rayner. So they're just in need of a tank. But right now we've got Disturbance picking up their last 2. Something to go with the Diablo stuns and combos. The Ana sleeps, maybe a little bit of Horrify action. Right now they've got the double dots with Wraithling on the Lunara and Gul'dan for Kurtz. Varian. So is this a taunt Varian, or is this just something a little bit more exciting? Is this maybe a dive Colossus Smash Varian into that? I don't know. It still seems like a really cool. I think it'll probably be a taunt Varian. And then the ETC. So we've got several different ways they can stop a Mosh. I don't really expect them to take stage dive here with that. They do have a cleanse, so cleansing the Mosh could really help to prevent the interrupts there. We've got either a Mind Control or a Silence Arrow from Sylvanas. So we'll see how this goes. Let's get ready and set up for game number 2 between Disturbance and Stranger Pings. So let me know, guys, if the sound is okay, if you can hear what you need to, if I'm too loud or too quiet. I've been very happy that all of my assorted 4-legged beasts in the house have been pretty quiet tonight, and I even forgot to give them their treat to keep them busy. Hopefully that'll continue. All right, so for Stranger Pings, our red team currently up 1-0. We have Wesley on Sylvanas. Jaina is going over to Ghost 4444. Cadet Legend again on Imperius, Akimbo on ETC, and Rhaegar for Moosebrow. And for Disturbance, we have Belial with the Varian, Wraithling on Lunara, Kurtz on the Gul'dan, Captain Roberts on Diablo, and Mambo on the Ana. Now, last game we had a 5v4 with this Diablo in the middle with Sonya top. Looks like this game they're going to go ahead and go 5v5. We've got a High King's Quest for Varian, so could be a Smash Varian then. Neither team wanting to get too close in on this. We've got one Globe Quest. Jaina looking to go for that extended reach. She doesn't want to get anywhere near that Diablo. And it looks like we're going to have Imperius and Lunara in the solo lane down here. Belial getting caught on this Varian. They're slowing him, and I don't know. They did get it, but they paid for it. That ETC taking the tower shots. First Blood, in fact, it looks like went over to Disturbance, and we all know that First Blood wins games. So Jaina keeping this wave clear going pretty quickly here. It looks like they may have missed a couple of gems. Just maybe even a couple of these minions for the XP. Diablo's already got 10, and he's turning those in the bot lane to stay out of this rotation range. Varian's back up here. He's going to come back into the team. He realizes that he's only part of a hero at this point. Doesn't want to get caught out again. And with the Gul'dan, so he's got Echoed Corruption, already 9 stacks at level 3. They're just slightly behind in XP on Disturbance's side, and now Moosebrow is turning in his 10. ETC is going to anchor that bush and just wait for somebody to come in, but they're not really looking to turn anything in right now. Jaina is slowing down. Diablo's going to protect the Gul'dan, though. And Lunar is going to come up to dance around with the team here a little bit. Could potentially lose out on a little bit of soak down there in the bot lane. And you've got four up top, 4 in the middle. Now Disturbance is coming up to just a poke. They got Diablo Souls at about 40. And we'll see what flavor of Varian we got coming out here now, as his level 4 is on lock. Anytime now. There we go. It is a C smash variant. Alrighty. So he wants to blow things up quickly and hope that the dots finish the job, or that he finishes the job. Imperius riding the carousel around with Lunara, making sure that he's staying as up to date as possible. Varian's got to know something's up here, right? There's just this one. Gul'dan doesn't know though. He's going to get slowed. ETC's going to charge in, knock him back. The heal's coming out from Ana, and Varian's going to go deep in on Jaina. Gul'dan's going to get out. Everybody else is going to get out. Varian's just going to go ahead and walk away as Stranger Pings is going to come back and protect their backline. Right now we're looking at 23 in favor of Disturbance, 19 for Stranger Pings, and Lunar is going to go ahead and pick up this camp in the bot lane, a Siege Giant camp. ETC is going to slide up, but Varian decided to go ahead and back off, and Stranger Pings is going to turn in another 10 of the gems for them here. Jaina's slowed, but Noda's really close enough to get in close and make her feel the pain of that Diablo. Varian's going to charge in on ETC just to stop the turn-in of those 3 gems. Trying to keep the gem count. And it looks like Lunara did get hers turned in bot. Imperius with 20 gems, so he gets one more of those and he can find his turn in for the team. And it looks like the team's going to come down and help him do exactly that. They want to get in on this Lunara. Lunara smells it. Gets away. And here they go. They want to get these turned in. Imperius is about half health, so he's going to go back and tap. 10 more going in for Stranger Pings, it looks like. And up top here, we've got about 13 more. It could be enough to give the first, it is, the first Web Weavers over to Disturbance. So it looks like Stranger Pings wants to go ahead and clear out the top lane first. Not a big surprise. This is the boss lane. It's very easy to combo a Web Weaver and boss and win a game. They want to make sure that this Web Weaver top lane does as little damage as possible. Diablo catching the Imperius. Just waiting for that Varian, but he's going to get stopped, and he's not going to be able to finish that job. Web Weaver top here is at half. Lunara is getting some pretty significant damage bot lane, and Sylva's going to go ahead and clear out that mid lane. So mostly the upper 2 Punishers, Web Weavers did not get a lot of value, but Lunara is going to get at least half, maybe even more out of this bot lane, as Stranger Pings is going to go in on the Gul'dan, who was a little bit far forward, and get that kill. Looks like Lunara was able to finish that entire fort. So the first fort of the game, first structure down, is going to go in favor of Disturbance. And we've got Varian going back up to soak top lane and get those gems. Rhaegar and Jaina are going to go ahead and get their Bruiser camp over here. And Imperius is going to find Lunara's Wisp, but not kill it. Only get it to half. There it goes. And it's back. They're going to stall the turn-in from Sylvanas. That would have been enough if they could have gotten it turned in. Rhaegar's going to dive in and clear out this wave. They got the spell armor up here. That extra 20 spell armor can really turn a fight if your enemy wants to fight you there. They really want to get these turned in. They're all going to stand in the in the corruption, almost finished on Gul'dan's stacks there, and they do get the turn in. Imperius is going to get the angelic charge, and Diablo's going to charge away using ETC, but he's still going to die. He was too slow. Wesley's getting low on the back with Sylvanas. He's going to go down. Now a 2-man stun out of Imperius. Varian's going to go down. We've got an APOC that's going to finish off Rhaegar and ETC, and the rest of the members surviving on behalf of Stranger Pings are so low. They are not going to be able to push in a lot with this as they get 1 kill to 3. The not the epic talents, the heroic talents. We've got the Thornwood Vine out of Lunara, the Shield Wall for Varian, APOC, Haunt, and Eye of Horus out of Ana. And there's the Mosh Pit, Angelic Armaments, the Ancestral, there we go. I play a lot of Rhaegar. Diablo diving in, he doesn't mind. ETC is sharking around looking for that Mosh Pit. There's the stun from Imperius and the Fear into the backline. They're all really low. The Ancestral on Jaina. ETC's going to get the stun on Gul'dan, but he's not going to be quite far enough to stop him. Mosh goes out. It's barely going to stop the one player for just a moment, but their Rhaegar goes down in punishment for it. The final two ults here, the Wailing Arrow and Water Elemental out of Jaina. So a 1-for-1 as Lunara goes down in that fight as well. Gul'dan's going to get his 22 turned in. That's going to keep them most of the way toward that next Webweaver phase. And Diablo and Varian can finish this up if Varian wants to turn around and do that. All 5 members back up for Stranger Pings. Last time they lost a fort. They defended top. They defended most of mid. We'll see how this one goes. Lunar is going to go ahead and go up to this top lane, clear out these first set of minions to get that Webweaver as close as she can to the wall. Stranger Ping's electing to start in the middle here. APOC goes out. It's going to get very little value, no real follow-up. The Water Elemental's going in. It's going to get obliterated by the wave. We've got a 4 versus 5 here in favor of Stranger Pings, and they're going to chunk down Diablo. The Horrify goes out to protect him, and Lunar is going to get a little bit of damage out there, so Diablo will make it out thanks to that Horrify. Case of your backline protecting your front line. Usually it's the other way around. Sylvanas is going to work on this bottom because that fort wall's down, and without her, she'd potentially lose this keep or get a significant amount of damage on it. They're going to clear up top before it gets that fort, about half health, and the mid lane, really just the wall, and I think 1 tower. And they do have a turn now, so they're going to be looking for this here soon. But Disturbance has that 13 advantage. Looking to cleanse roots and slows to deal with that Jaina. Stranger Pings is going to go ahead and get this camp out again. ETC's just reminding him that he's here. He's aware of where they are. And there's that camp. So they need 16 more to turn in. Right now, they would need at least two members if Sylvanas gets hers turned in. Disturbance doesn't want them to do that. They're on even talent tiers now, so they're going to try to poke what they can. The APOC's going to stop that. They're going to get the ETC stun, but he's going to get cleansed. 2-man Celestial Charge. ETC is feared. He's going to try to get out, but the Mosh was interrupted. Varian is going to live barely thanks to that Ana shot, and she's going to get caught by Imperius, but looks like she's okay. Diablo is just barely going to get that Jaina low enough to let the poison damage kill her, and now Stranger Pings is dealing with that problem that they had, which wasn't much of a problem last game, of all of the low health bars rather, as Imperius now also dies. And this team now for Disturbance coming back and really pushing hard. They looking at this boss now, and they've got pretty good damage for it. They can probably get that out pretty quickly, certainly before the Imperius is a significant threat. Lunara posting up her Wisp. I think that it would have been better for her to actually be up here, because now you're giving this team a chance to come in. They know ETC's there. He can't do a lot about it by himself, but they're going to go ahead and back out. They're going to leash the boss at about half health. Might have been a different story if Lunara was there the whole time. Varian's going to get charged and knocked back and killed thanks to that ETC. And now Captain Roberts is in danger, looking for that Celestial Charge here very soon. Diablo's going to go down. Angelic Armaments are going to mostly miss Gul'dan, but it doesn't matter. He's still going to die to that miscellaneous damage from everybody. And now Stranger Pings is saying, we want this boss. We have plenty of time. We have the damage. We have enough health. We can do this. APOC's going to go out and hit 4 members of Stranger Pings. Just enough to keep them in some pain here, and mindful that there is still a Disturbance team going on. They are going to capture that boss, and ETC is going to go pretty far forward. Diablo's going to charge, get the Celestial Charge, or Angelic Charge, I don't remember what it's called, that ability, and Diablo's going to go down. He's going to pay for being that far forward into this team. Wesley is going to shut down that fort and make sure they get as much boss value as they can. ETC is going deep into this backline. He's at half. He's going to get a single-person mosh on the Varian, multiple stuns onto Varian, but they're going to pay for that, and ETC is going to go down. 1 for 1 in that fight. Ultimately, the Diablo starting it off for a total of a 2 for 1. This boss will... it might be able to get that 1 tower down. It's not going to get much more than that. Stranger Pings is going to go ahead and get the Web Weavers and continue this push. I'm not sure if they had enough earlier. They might have been able to combo those two together if they had turned in and then pushed that with the boss instead of just doing the boss. Then they might have gotten that top keep. But right now, Disturbance is going to be up. They're going to be able to defend these Web Weavers. Kind of surprised that we have even the 3 people here in the mid lane to clear out this mid Web Weaver when the top Web Weaver is really so important to them. But it looks like between Varian and Lunara, they'll be able to get that down. Lunara doesn't have a whole lot of health, and here comes Stranger Pings. They want to try to get this going. We've got Pings that they're... not so strange Pings that they're on their way, but it looks like they're going to go ahead and back away now that the Web Weaver's down. See what they can get done in mid lane, but of course, Disturbance is right behind them. They're going to come over here, and they don't want to lose this fort. Diablo's going to land a stun on ETC, but again, limited follow-up as Disturbance is going to go ahead and head down to clear up the bot lane now. ETC's going to slide in on Lunara, get her stunned. She's now rooted by Jaina, and she's going to die. That is 18 gems that are lost, and they still have a bit of this Web Weaver. He's going to charge over Ana. Ana's got to go down here. Rhaegar's going to dive in her. And here comes the APOC. We got an ice block to prevent the stun on Jaina. ETC's going to get the Ancestral, and now Diablo is getting shunted down by the Blizzard damage from Jaina. And that's another 10 gems lost here, as Stranger Pings is going to go ahead and take the aggressive camp. And it did. They did go Feast on Fear here, so that heal on the wall bangs, basically. I think if you're Diablo, I feel like maybe you're kind of thinking that Soul Shield would be helpful, would have been helpful right now. You're definitely getting some wall bangs, but that Jaina Blizzard damage and the Water Elemental, it's just so much. Stranger Pings just needs to turn in 6 more, and they'll get it. No problem. They have this camp that's going to finish up the mid fort. They've got a lot of pressure around the map. Top is about half. Bottom is 2/3 of the way or so, all the way up. So they're going to push in on this mid lane. Bottom is going to get some significant value if they don't do anything, if they don't defend it. But as we've seen, those poison damage heroes from Gul'dan and Lunara just cause chaos. They are going to get significant damage on this Web Weaver, and the Ana putting to sleep ETC, preventing potentially that significant mosh value, as the first Web Weaver will go down. Lunar is going to head down and get this bottom lane cleared up before it does too significant of damage. She's going to put a Wisp there to protect herself, but they're going to see this soon enough. They'll see this top lane 5-man push, and I like this. They're going to push in this lane. They've got probably 2 minutes or so until the boss is back, maybe a minute. And then they know they've got a win condition if they can get a significant amount of damage on this top keep, potentially even finish it with a half health Web Weaver. Blizzard damage going out on Gul'dan. Not a ton, just enough. ETC with the mosh pit, gonna hit 3 members and go to sleep. The taunt goes out. No, there's no taunt in this game. I don't know what I'm talking about. They're gonna knock ETC back, so he dies. Lunara wants to get some more damage out on him. They've all got some poison damage, and Jaina's very low, but she's going to make it out. They don't want to lose their top keep. They got to clear these minions. 33 gems, they don't quite have enough, and 6 seconds now on that boss. And level 20 just around the corner for Stranger Pings. But they're only a half a level behind. They don't have any significant gems on the side of Stranger Pings. They did just see this camp taken over by Stranger Pings. They're going to try to turn in whatever they can so they don't lose anymore. And Lunara getting a little close to this team. This could be problematic. If she doesn't use that Wisp, here it comes. Now she knows. Now you got to be scared, right? 4v5. There it comes. Diablo's going to charge in. Jaina's going to go down to all that poison damage. Rhaegar is going to follow shortly after. And they are going to get that invade. Just enough time, just enough damage. They're going to get more poison damage onto Imperius. He's going to throw out angelic armaments, but he's going to go down either way. So much damage from those two heroes. And now Disturbance gets their 20s, and they are looking to get some value here. They have enough for a Web Weaver, but their lanes are so very pushed in. They want to try to get this keep with the Giants and this full wave of minions. And just a Sylvanas and ETC to hold them back. Whew. Looks like they should be able to get this keep here. That Mosh is coming up soon. Certainly by the time the rest of the team comes up, they're going to get a lot of damage on Sylvanas just to keep her away. And they're going to go ahead and back out. So the first keep of the game goes over to Disturbance as they get the constant catapult pressure now. And they have enough for a Web Weaver turn-in. And we missed it, but there went that second keep of the game. So they both have a keep down. Top lane is super pushed in. This Web Weaver is going to get no value. So they're going to look at this bot lane. They're going to have Lunara clear up whatever they can up here. Keep these catapults from causing any significant damage going forward. And they're going to try to set up a bush stand here. I need to have a sound bar with Jaws music. Imperius is going to check that bush, though, so he knows. Diablo's going to charge in, stun the ETC, charge him again, miss the stun. Going to get a 4-man mosh. It's going to get interrupted. The Diablo dies. The Ancestral goes out on ETC to keep him up. The Angelic Armaments obliterates Lunara, and here comes Gul'dan, stuck, body blocked in this tiny little hallway. And there goes Mambo with the Ana. Varian's gonna maybe get away, and Stranger Pings then now looking to clear the Web Weavers. I think they could probably just go core and win the game. They have all 5 members of their team up, and they do have a pretty decent amount of damage. But they want to clear this camp. I'm sorry, the Web Weavers. They want to keep the structures that they have, and once they clear this other top Web Weaver, then they go look at this boss, I bet. And just have a Varian and Diablo available. And yep, there they go. They're looking for this boss. They have basically 20 seconds before anybody's alive to cause them any grief, and plus the travel time. So this is a pretty well uncontested boss. We'll see if we get another APOC from Diablo, but I don't even know that he's mindful of this, other than the somewhat questionable Hellgate. And they've got to make their stand here. I wonder if Demonic Circle. I don't know that I saw him use that. And there he goes. That might have saved him in that tiny corridor. So Stranger Pings looking to finish out this game with a 22-minute boss. It's going to do massive amounts of damage. They do have a lot of damage on Disturbance side, so they can burn this down, but only if they can keep from getting picked. Only if they can keep from that ETC or Imperius. ETC's got 5 seconds on Mosh, and he's trying to threaten him. He wants to keep them away from that boss. 80%. They're pushing this down super fast. Here goes a Horrify with the APOC. It's only going to hit. It's not even going to hit Jaina. She's going to Ice Block. ETC's going to get the Ancestral. Diablo's going to go down. The boss is just about dead. 40%. Mosh gets interrupted and multiple sleeps there. The Blizzard onto Gul'dan. He's going to die. I think he tried to cast his Circle instead of use it. And the game goes over to Stranger Pings. Well done. Disturbance really showed up to that fight in the end. They really pushed out. They had some pretty significant value early game. They had some good team fights in the late game. They didn't. It didn't seem like they were getting triggered. Right. They didn't push things too hard. They didn't too often go off by themselves or do what somewhat what they did in game one, but unfortunately, it was just not quite enough, and that combination was a little bit overwhelming. So give me just a moment. We're going to see if we can get a Kimbo in here. And of course, the death metal, which I don't think we ever actually got to see it.